I did not realize my microphone was not on. Whoopsie. We do not. I don't want to talk about it. Oops. That's not how I do that. Whoopsie. That's usually the first thing I should check, and I didn't. So I'm so smart. At least I don't get paid to do this one. Streaming, I mean. Okay. Think I'm almost done with the clothing. Which is baller because... Oh my god, Hoyoverse moment, man. They have such complex designs. It's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, but I do it all out of love. I'm gonna take that blue. I would love if... Okay, yeah. Cool. Oh, I'm glad I saw that part of the model. Oops. So glad that wasn't on stream. Don't worry about it. It's not super important to what I'm drawing, so I will not acknowledge it, honestly. Alright. And then I just have to do the little bow tie, her hair, her skin. I have skin, so I relate, but it's not quite as pale because I am not white, but we ball either way. Okay. I meant to use the color picker, and then I'll change the shade myself. Like, I know it's not necessarily 100% character accurate, but on the ref, a lot of the colors are a bit more muted than what I want for this particular piece, so I've been slightly adjusting the colors to make them a little more saturated. Honestly, I might make that a little more saturated. Like that. Let me take off my glasses real quick to check. Yeah, that's what I want to go with. For reference on what I'm talking about with the colors picking, it's like a really, really small change. So like it's from this, which is just like so pure white, to just a little more pigmented to differentiate the skin color from the clothes color. Obviously, if my client had a particular complaint about that, I would change it to be more accurate to the reference image, but I do make a few artistic liberties for my sake. And yeah, this is just one of them. And again, if the client didn't like it, I would change it, but they're not here right now, so I'm pretty sure they're asleep because they are, they live in Europe, so... Oh, thank you, color picker, for choosing a blue that I don't even think was on the reference sheet. But you know what? We ball. No. Okay. And we'll also... And the other... Okay. I'm so artsy, man. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's so... Okay. Oh. Hang on, I need to make sure nothing important is on that layer. It doesn't look like anything was as important on that layer, so, we ball. I'll probably be here until I'm done with this particular commission. 'Cause, it's just 2 parts. This is one of them. Well, you know what? We're gonna actually do that in a separate layer, then merge it, because... what did I do? Oh. Oh! Oh, you know what? I'm so smart. I can connect the design, color-wise. Oh my god, I can keep it so cohesive. I'm so smart. I'm so glad I went to college for this shit. I didn't even finish college. What was the point? And then we can use white. Ah! My keyboard button for alts just came up. Would I want to be a streamer full time? Not really, but I just have fun occasionally doing a stream to be a little silly, but you know. I could probably post the stream link in a few Discord servers, but I don't want to annoy people because I'm here to just doodle. Okay, that's out of my system. That's out of my system. It's only 10:30 and I'm going so crazy. Hang on. I just need to check on... Oh, you're still awake. Okay, lights go back off. Sorry. I was checking on my fish. She's still awake. I'm still awake. I just woke up again. I had an x-ray done today at... I had an orthopedic... Oh, geez, sorry. The way I'm sitting. I have an impingement in my hip, apparently. That's what I found out at the orthopedics. I don't mind sharing this detail because it's like, whatever. I'm not gonna give a detailed history of my medics? Fucking... My detailed medical history, because that is my business, but... The hip impingement thing is just kind of whatever. It's recent. It happened today. Or I guess it happened 3 years ago and then they didn't tell me, as far as I've read in the medical summary, which is crazy. Because I was there for a workplace injury and they're like, yeah, no, there was no detections and what was happening, if I read the MyChart thing correctly. But then, like, 3 years later, go to the orthopedics. They're like, yeah, you have a hip impingement. I'm like, great. So, like, when were you gonna tell me this information 3 years ago? Or... So, I don't blame the orthopedics on that one. I, blame the initial diagnosis on the situation, which is kind of ass. Okay, there we go. Oh, Kirby's Epic Yarn music. I love Kirby's Epic Yarn. I'm listening along this time. I literally fell asleep to my music, so it's like, I had the craziest dreams, man. I like... Oh my god. I don't even remember the dreams, I just remember they were wild. That's usually how it goes, to be honest. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do here. I think I'll do it from this side, actually. I normally do it from the other side, but you know what? I'm feeling a little quirky today. And I think quirky is okay. So we'll go like that. Okay. Fifi is done. Nope, never mind. Forgot to color in her thighs. And the blush. Ah! My mouse is a little sensitive right now, so I'll change the mouse sensitivity. Why do I sound drunk? I have had nothing to drink. All I have is shitty beer in my fridge. I don't even like beer. I don't drink that often. I'm not an alcoholic, guys. Not an alcoholic. Not the biggest drinker. In fact, I'm such a lousy drinker that oops, did not mean to do that. Such a lousy drinker, I can't even drink because I have an allergy to alcohol. Or I shouldn't drink anyways. I have Asian glow. Okay. I think that's Fifi done. I'm gonna save. That is Fifi and Aslan. If I can spell and then commissions are pretty much the only thing I fucking name files and layers for. I didn't even name my layers for this one. I have like 4 layers. 4 layers that I'm using for these particular commissions. And I'm gonna take that and put that away for now. And bring out the your character here base again. This is the base I'm using. You can steal it. I don't care. Like, I don't own this particular concept. It's not exactly complicated. I just have my own art style on how I color and draw it in. And that's what you're paying for. That's why it's only like $5. It's like not rocket science. Bring down the symmetry ruler. I gave Fifi a V mouth, so I think I'll give my friend's character a U mouth because that's a little too U. Let's do a subtle U. A subtle U is like a W, but without the double. I don't even know why I keep moving the ruler around. Like, oh, I don't want to use the ruler on this layer right now. I know how to change the fucking special ruler thing to not do that. But, you know. You do you, I guess. Cacao, Eli, whatever the fuck you want to call me. Okay, so this character... I swear to God he had a braid. I think he added the braid in the later designs. Yes. Okay, so the braid... I guess the other question I would have for him would be, is the braid on both sides or just one? I'll text him later. I'll add it on a separate layer, and then I'll ask about it, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. Now we're working on Aslan. You know what? I'm so smart. Hang on. I do not know the artist of the ref sheet, because that was not information needed for the thing. This is my friend's character that he asked me to draw, so we're using the ref sheet. He has a little color palette here, so, and it's, for the most part, it looks like it's gonna be the saturations that I'm gonna want to use. Actually, wait, I have a mini viewer. I'm gonna save the image. Oh no. Is it item bank? This is what you don't use. Yeah, no, that's not the correct thing. Layer properties. Oh wait, no, I hid the window. Right. I'm okay. No, that was the doctor ratio ref I had or something else. That was a personal thing. Don't ask about it. Wrong file. I sure know how to do stuff. Okay. I'm gonna have the sub view on my second monitor. I guess it's the first monitor when you really put it into perspective of, you know, how my monitors are set up, but you know, like, fuck it, we ball. Okay. It's a collared shirt, so let me bring the black out again. Yeah, okay. I understand how to do my fucking job. It's not really... no, it is a collared shirt. It's just not a collar in the way I expect it to be one. Collar holler, okay. I just chose a video playback, not playback, a video music compilation that's 5 hours, and if I run out of time there, that's when I'll end it, because 5 hours on one of these commissions is a little too long, but, you know, quantity, quality, something, I don't know. This is my only form of income right now. Because nobody wants to hire the guy with the cane. Oh. It's not because I'm trans, it's because I'm disabled. Actually, you know, depending on the business, it could be both. But, you know, fuck it, we ball. I'm gonna curve that upwards a little more, actually, just because of how it's on the ref sheet and how I know how jackets work. Because I wear my jacket. I have a streetwear jacket, and I wear it in a similar way. With like it half off my shoulders. But the way to get it to that point is you zip it up slightly, and it has like a bottom zipper, so you can zip it like halvesies, and then it like stays at your shoulder level. But if you like leave it off with the shoulders, then it's like, it's hard to explain without a visual, but like the point is that streetwear is cool. This is what I wear, and it's what I like to wear. A lot of clothes I had a lot of the OG J fashion stuff I have right now I bought when I had a job, so I had the incomes, and I'm waiting for something that I ordered when I had that money, so that's fun. It just shipped, and hopefully it'll arrive before the end of the season. Or if it doesn't, that's okay. I'll have it for winter next year. It's a more weather friendly or colder weather friendly outfit compared to some of my other things, which are spring summer variants, especially the pastel. I have a pastel kind of outfit. It's very much Sailor Fuku kind of dealio, but OG fashion again. Very pastel, very spring, summer vibes. It's like a light blue. I consider it more, I'd probably call it a May outfit, just because May is warm but not hot. The fabric's very light. I could wear it in June, maybe not July. July is when I go half naked because it's just so freaking hot outside. And I am unashamed of not wearing a lot of fabric during that season because it's just so freaking hot. And I really do not care. Because I consider myself I don't know where I was going with that sentence, but I consider myself an individual that gets warm. Just like every other person in the world, yeah. You know what? I forgot to add to Fifi's design. Why does this sound like Earthbound music? Low-key, I kind of hate that. We'll just leave it, actually, because, again, the details are in the pudding. I don't frickin' have pudding, and now I'm kind of hungry. Hang on. I'm drinking right now. Not alcohol. Again, it's too late for alcohol. Actually, no, right now is like the peak. Not really peak. No, I'd consider it peak drinking hours for like a club or whatever, because it's not quite close enough to 2 o'clock where the bouncers and whatever will go around and be like, hey, you gotta pour out your drink or chug it real quick. I don't know if that's like a normal thing in every... I know it's not a normal thing in every country. I'm not sure about every state in the state I live in. That's a thing that happens. I just remember that from the last time I was at the casino with my friends that, like, at 2 o'clock, it's like, hey, you either gotta chug it or toss it. It's something to do with, like, the sale of alcohol past 2 a.m. I don't know, you can buy another drink, but you can't, like, nurse a drink. I don't know. Listen, I don't claim to know the law. I did not go to law school because I'm a little stupid. That's why I went to art school. No, that's a little mean. I knew plenty of smart people in art school. Like the guy who ate ants on accident. That wasn't smart. That was just a little silly. Shoutouts to art school. You meet so many interesting people in those classes, and honestly, it was kind of based. Based on what? My feelings. I get good vibes from a lot of the people that was there. Bad vibes, from the 3D art. Not my professor, just the concept of 3D art, because Jesus Christ, woodworking tools scare the shit out of me. And, like, they're cool and stuff, but they have never met someone like me. Oh, they probably have, but, like, I have the uncanny ability to get injured by absolutely anything and everything, no matter how careful I'm being. And it is sucks. Okay, and then there's a little... I'll use the 8-point brush on that. Oh yeah, oh wait, I just noticed a little detail. That's so cute. Hang on, I need a... Oh wait, he doesn't have a neck in this one. Hang on, it's super important. Trust me, trust me, trust the process, trust the process. Fuck. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Okay. I stand corrected. Sorry, I just noticed my friend's character has these cute little moles on his neck, and it's so miffy. Wait, what? Sorry, I thought I saw a detail, but I think it's just the, No, it's not the hair. It's like a wraparound earring kind of dealio. I thought it was a hearing aid. But it's like I know exactly what it looks like it's supposed to be because I have my ears pierced, and it's not like drawn to look specifically like a earring, because earrings, if I were to draw an earring, I would do this, but it's not an earring, so I'm putting it under the ear because it is very much not that. I don't think it is. Anyways, if I am following the ref correctly with my eyes, which it looks like I am, because I'm so smart. Oh, okay. It's like 11 p.m. I shouldn't be yelling. I have neighbors. My headphones are broken. Like, the top part is broken. It's cool. I'm not buying more headphones because I'm broke. Oh, my friend added to their media thread for 2025. Is that Yuri on Ice fan art in 2025, the year of our Lord and Savior? Sorry. I was like hyper fixated on Yuri on Ice when it was first released because oh my god. But also like the animation in the later episodes are also like oh my god, but not in a good way. And 2018 was also my hyperfixation on Yuzuru Hanyu, which for some reason my brain always confuses with my current favorite musical artist, Yonezu Kenshi, but I think it's just because they both have Y names. And I'm being like so dead serious right now. But I love like both of them in a very parasocial way. I'm kidding. Oh geez, I'm making the image turn so many directions. Sorry. I have like undiagnosed ADHD. That's not me being like, oh, I'm just a little ADHD. I like genuinely should get diagnosed for it at some point. If I go back to school, it's that bad. Actually, hang on. I'm gonna erase that. Is the process really complex? No. I don't know why I put so much detail on the ear the first time. It's probably gonna get covered by the hair anyways. That's usually what happens. If I were drawing like a VTuber model, I guess I would have to draw the ear. I don't know. I specifically don't do VTuber models because I've seen the process and I'm just like, oh my god. But it'd be cool to learn how to cut one up and like rig it, but also I don't have the attention span for it. Rigging, I mean. And I respect the hell out of like V artists or whatever they call themselves, VTuber artists, and riggers, just because I think the work they do is really cool. I'd love to learn live 2D at some point in my life because I think it'd be cool to. I have like a bunch of ideas in my head to make simple little animations of like my characters and my favorites, but you know, the learning is hard, which is why I am. Oh shit! Ugh, the way I'm sitting is fucking up my hip right now. So, anyways, I forgot what I was talking about, but all right, VTubers. VTubers, cool. I do think the market's a little oversaturated, but you know, that's just content creation in general. And, yeah. And if you want to become a VTuber, don't let the oversaturation, I guess, stop you. But you have to find, like, your own little niche, if you catch my drift. Because, like, because when there's an oversaturation in the market, it's hard to stand out, and I would start with like a niche and try and grow outward from that. At least that's my perspective on it. Again, clearly that's not something I'm doing because I have no one watching this stream. But yeah, but also I don't really intend to make streaming my main source of income. I just do this when I get bored. Usually I'd be on Discord with friends talking about this kind of thing, but all my friends that I talk to on Discord are or should be asleep or just waking up, actually, because it is 4 a.m. 5 a.m. you know, I don't know when people normally wake up. The last month, I've just been conking out when I get tired playing probably Honkai Star Rails on my phone. Because I am so fucking gotcha pilled. That's not a good thing. And, yeah. I've been saving up for stuff. I got Tribby at E1 because Tribby is so mippy. I love Tribby. She is, not she. They are my daughter. That's not even like a pronoun thing. There is just multiple Tribbies. So they are the they. They are my children. So, yeah. It's not even they have they them pronouns because they're non-binary. That's they have they them pronouns because they are multiple people, like the Da Vinci twins. And thanks to art history, whenever someone says just Da Vinci, it's like, who? Don't you mean Leonardo da Vinci? Yes, I'm one of those people because his full name is Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci is not a name, it is a title. The title being of, translated in English, of Vinci, which is where, or approximately where he is from. So he's Leonardo of Vinci. Or Vinci, you know, I don't speak Italian. But the point is that his name is Leonardo. And, just calling him Da Vinci, I feel, is a little disrespectful to the masters, but you know, that is just a opinion of a failed art student. I did not pass art history. But my professor for that class had a doctorate, and that's what she was talking about when we were taking our exam, that if you just put Da Vinci on your test, she would mark it wrong because it is Leonardo da Vinci. But if it were like a different artist that you can do just the last name of, it was like whatever. But specifically Leonardo da Vinci was Leonardo da Vinci, and any other name, just Da Vinci, would be wrong on that test. I got like a C- in that class, and that was not passing. Passing is a C+. A lot of classes or courses in college, American college, I don't know how the grading system works in Europe, nor do I understand the post-secondary education system in Europe, because I do not have a detailed understanding of it, simply because I'm gonna be real, I don't give a fuck. I have friends who are currently in college in Europe because they live there, but that is not on the priority of things I want to learn about. The priority of things I want to learn about are Japanese history, specifically of the Sengoku and Edo period. A little bit of the Taisho period, just because of how I just want to inform myself on the effects of my own culture, which is Korean history. What other things do I want to learn in great detail to a concerning amount? Fish keeping. I do that one just because I'd like to check on the behaviors of my fish. My fish are doing great. The beta fish that is currently next to me is really fucking aggressive because she's a bitch. But like, we ball. She should be asleep right now. I might be keeping her up. Hopefully. I'm not. I'm gonna try and lower my voice, and hopefully that encourages her to go to sleep. I don't know. I remember being told when I worked the drive-thru that I had a very pleasant voice, ? I'm not quite sure how to word it, but I've had people say my voice is very legible, which is nice, I guess. I enunciate my words, and I understand that, especially with like a headset at the Mickey D's. them headsets are bad. Like, you think the typical, like, Call of Duty lobby mic, and then crank it to worse than that, and then you have the McDonald's headset quality. And I try to think of it like talking into a walkie-talkie. So when you talk into a walkie... Sorry, the word walkie-talkie is so funny to me. But, off topic. But when you talk into a walkie-talkie, you want to enunciate your words differently, or at least differently enough so people know what you're talking about, which is why sometimes when you hear people talking to walkie-talkies, they'll say certain words funny. Like, instead of saying 4, they might say flower, if they're talking about the number or something. Or at least I remember hearing something like this. It might have been from my friend who's former military, or they're a veteran. That's the word that you use for someone who served in the military and completed their service. He completed his service. So, I think it was him who told me this. If it wasn't, then, I might have had another fever dream and dreamed this. And you'll say certain words in a way that it's like how it would look, I guess, phonetically if you said it out loud. I'm trying to think of another example. But nothing is hitting my brain right now because it is 11 p.m. I'm just trying to think of what I'm trying to not enunciate, but like what I'm talking about. Which is really difficult when I barely know what I'm talking about most of the time. Anyways. Oh, actually I want to bring this down a bit more. That's crazy. He looks so bald right now, but I think that's just because I haven't added the middle bang. But yeah, a lot of it comes down to enunciation, and I notice a lot of the times... Well, no, actually, no. It isn't even just enunciation. It's also just, like, active listening, which is a problem I notice in a lot of people when they take orders in the drive-thru. They don't actively listen. And it's not even an issue of not, hearing you. I hear you. I don't have the best of hearing. But I know some people who... my boss! Who, when taking orders in the drive-thru, will be doing something else. And that's like, whatever, you can do that if you're able to. Problem is, my boss could not do that, and we've had people drive away because they were so fucking frustrated with her taking their orders, because she'd be like doing something and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. And it's like, I just want a fucking cheeseburger, lady. I just want a double cheeseburger, no pickle. And it's so frustrating. And, like, of course there's people who also, like, make weird... They say their order weird. Like, I've had people say, can I get... I say this with a southern accent, because that's what it felt like to me. Like, can I get a 2 cheeseburger meal with them potato sticks? And it's like, the what? The potato sticks? And, like, I had to think about it, because the way they say, like, can I have the potato sticks? It's like, we don't have potato stacks. It's like, no, potato sticks. Oh, French fries. You mean French fries. The thing that is on the menu as fries. You obtuse son of a bitch. But that's just me venting about my old job. I don't work there because of multiple reasons, one of them including my disability. And another one including my boss, because she was kind of a bitch. And I remember she called me at 10 p.m. to ask if I wanted to come back, and I was fucking pissed because I was already asleep, so I ignored her call, was gonna reply in the morning, forgot, and then she called back, and was like, why did you pick up? It's almost like you called me at 10 p.m., you psychopath. Yeah, that call just kind of solidified my reason for why I don't want to go back. It's because she's not respectful of my time. Like, I don't mind being called for work-related reasons when I'm off the clock. Because, like, some of it's important. That's why I get paid extra for. But, call me at a reasonable time. Don't call me at 10 p.m. Because chances are I will not be asleep. Just because I have insomnia and I'm awake most of the time doesn't mean I don't need my sleep. And it's so hard for me to fall asleep if I don't actively prepare myself for it. I have a routine. I have a weighted blanket, and that weighted blanket knocks me the hell out. Would recommend. I mean, I'd recommend it if you have problems sleeping and you've tried literally everything else. Would not recommend melatonin supplements long term because they're supplements. A lot of people don't understand that and they'll end up overdosing on melatonin. It's not deadly. I've done it before. You'll get sick, yada yada yada. But the problem is melatonin is supposed to be a supplement, and when you regularly take melatonin supplements, your body, it's like you build not an immunity to it. I mean, I guess you could call it that. And you'll end up needing to take more and more and more and more to get any sort of effect, and it's not good for you. Like, I don't think people realize you can overdose on a lot of vitamins. A more deadly one that I know of is iron poisoning. If you don't need to take iron supplements, would not recommend taking iron supplements. Again, but not again. I didn't say it the first time. I'm not a doctor. This is just from my own experience taking supplements and having problems with mental health. I personally never needed iron supplements because as far as my blood work shows, I don't have an iron deficiency. But if you do have one, or you suspect you have one, if you can afford it, I recommend going to a doctor to check your iron levels, because if you don't need to take iron supplements, you could end up accidentally overdosing on iron, and I've done that before, maybe on purpose, and you can literally die from it. I felt like I was gonna die. I threw most of it up, but like, point is that would not recommend doing that again. It is not fun. Hooray, trauma dumping on stream. Anyways, the point is that, oh fuck, my hip again. Ugh! Sorry. I mentioned this earlier in the stream. I have an impingement in my hip, and it is fucking me up. So I'm not quite sure how to sit so it doesn't pinch. Maybe I don't sit. Maybe I stand. Yeah, no, this doesn't help. And I also can't draw like this. I don't have a standing desk. I have a sitting desk. Because I can't afford a standing desk. Like the ones that adjust to be a standing desk. Honestly, it might be an investment if I continue doing art like this. But as of right now, it's whatever. I also have my drawing tablet set up in a way, so it's more like an easel rather than a piece of paper on the desk. Because I do know that having the drawing tablet flat is not good for the health. My health. It is bad for my health specifically, and just health in general. No. When you do it that way. How do I draw the ahoge? It's so fucking derpy. Okay. Well, there we go. Kind of. No. But yeah. I have my drawing tablet kind of angled upwards. Because that's how I'm used to drawing now. Thanks, art college. I didn't even go for that long. It just changed a lot of my habits. It was 3 semesters. Alright. I'm gonna check my ref one more time. There's just some hair pieces that we should stick out. That's a little too far. Oh. out what I was talking about. That's okay. I think I'm almost done with the sketch. We ball. I think a lot of health problems that come from drawing are just from a lack of not necessarily communication, but widespread knowledge of, hey, here's some not healthy, but some tips to keep your body from deteriorating faster, because like over time your body does deteriorate, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, just do little things to adjust what you do in life, and it'll help your health overall. Like, I used to draw with my tablet flat on the... I have a screen tablet, so that's why I can say this, because I am privileged enough to have one of those. I used to draw with a Wacom. It was flat on my... like a small Wacom Intuos. Doesn't have a screen. You have to learn eye-hand coordination, yada yada yada. And those are great for... oops, for starting digital art, personally speaking. I still have the Intuos. I still use it for stuff, not art stuff. It's for Osu. Roos. But it's a great starting tablet for people who just want to get into digital art. I remember it being like $60, but I think I got mine at like 45 when it was that much, but you know, inflation. I actually have no idea how much the Intuos is now. I should check. Wacom Intuos before I like recommend anything. The Intuos was not my first tablet. It's about, so it says about 65 on Amazon, but it's on sale. It's 70 now. Oh my god. It's like a $25 increase from when I got it. But it's one of my, it has a special place in my heart. It was not the first tablet I used. The first one was like a really cheap, like $20 thing I got off, like probably AliExpress or some shit. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember where I got it. I no longer have it, unfortunately. But kind of use whatever you have, whether it's pen and paper, cheap little drawing tablet, because regardless of what you're using, you can improve your skills. I know I was talking about like health and benefits or whatever, and that's still important to keep sustainability in what you're doing, but if you want to improve your art, getting better tools or like more expensive tools will not help you hone the fundamentals and what will make your art look better overall. Like, better quality materials can, like if you're doing traditional art and you buy Prismacolor color pencils, those are expensive. They're good quality, nice wax. They will have nice pigment, and they can make your art look very sharp. However, it will not improve your fundamental skills on understanding forms and anatomy and etc., etc. Those are things you have to learn through other means, and you don't need expensive stuff to learn that. I've been drawing with the cheapest mechanical pencils and paper and printer paper when I was in high school. That was my main way of drawing for the longest time. Cheap, or print, like stacks of printer paper. I'd buy bulk printer paper. I'd also just steal my parents' printer paper because I was in high school. And printer paper is not as expensive as ink. Let's be real, unless it is. Oh my god, I'm so disconnected from the world. Let me just go on the Target app real quick and check how much printer paper is. Oh, okay, yeah, no, it's only like $5 for 500. So that's about like, that's like, I want to say, including tax, blah, 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 like a couple cents per paper. That's not too expensive. And that's what I drew on for the longest time. I had like a small stack in my backpack and a folder so I could draw whenever I wanted. That's where I started. It's where I recommend starting if you can't afford like a sketchbook or anything. Even like a cheap little notebook. But if you don't want like the lines or whatever, printer paper is always a good option. Again, I use I use cheap colored pencils. Crayola is still a good quality for what you pay for, in my opinion. Pencil wise, again, anything you have works. I used mechanical pencils simply because I liked the feel of it better. Traditional pencils are also good, and I prefer like traditional wood pencils if I'm doing like a big shaded graphite whatchamacallit, drawing. I do enjoy doing a graphite drawing occasionally, and it'll just not be colored because it's silly. Lining. My favorite liners are the Microns. They are a bit expensive comparatively, so for the longest time I just used a Sharpie fine liner. And Sharpie fine liners are like, they're pretty good. Oh, I didn't have my symmetry tool on. But Sharpie fine liners were pretty cheap, nice to use. I don't think I have any like specifically old drawings with me that I had when I did a lot more traditional art. I don't have it with me. I don't have it on my computer, unfortunately. I think, but yeah, traditional art definitely is something that never left me even as I did more digital art, just because it's really easy to pull out pen and paper and just practice wherever you are. And I think it's important to keep those skills even when you do more digital art. And I don't think a lot of young artists hear this a lot, or they hear it too much, but it's like worded rudely to the point where it's like, I don't want to listen to you because the way you word it is rude. And it's important to like be able to articulate what you mean in a way where people will listen to you. And that's a skill that gets lost a lot, especially in our modern age of anonymity, where you can just say whatever the hell you want. And people are like, for the most part, people won't know who you are. And of course, like if you say something bad enough, people will find who you are and ruin your life. And that's something that happens. But especially if you're just like giving a small art critique, it's not something that happens too often with like, you know, getting canceled to a real life degree. But it's being able to articulate what you mean to newer artists, like especially if they're young, because a lot of but a lot of the times young artists see digital art and it's like, oh, that's so cool, it looks like it's so accessible, it looks so easy to make your art look nice, because it's like, I have a computer, I have a phone, I have IBS Paint, I can do that. And it's like, yes, you can. And if your art doesn't look like some big artist, I don't know, Hungry Clicker, for an example, on your first digital drawing, that's okay. Because Hungry Clicker and artists like that have years of experience, and art is a skill that's honed over the years. And it's okay to not be able to draw something good the first time. And it's all about a process. Like, I'm messing up this line so many times, and it's just kind of like understanding that it's a process. And I think being transparent on your process is also really important. Well, not like, you don't always have to be transparent, I guess, but it helps to build a trust between the clientele and your client if you do commissions and stuff. But if you're just like drawing for fun, being able to show your process can help people who want to help you improve in your art journey. Be like, hey, I've noticed in your process XYZ. Here's some things I do personally that have made my art process easier, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, yeah. I can't articulate it well myself, but that's just how I experience art and how I try to help people. And I do have very critical views on design and art because that's just the background I come from as someone who came from a semi-academic art background. But I still have a very, obviously, anime inspiration because I grew up on anime. And when I mean grew up, I got into it in middle school, and it's become my whole personality. And anime is definitely not good, but it's a place a lot of artists start. Is it a good place to start? Not my place to say, because I'm not an art educator, but I think it's very, I want to say it feels very accessible for young artists to get into it, because it's like, it's my favorite TV show. I get into it. And a lot of anime art is based off real anatomy. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. And when I mean a lot of people, I mean people who start in traditional means with realism. And it's like anime art isn't real art because it's so cartoony. But with any stylized piece of art, it's within... it's still within anatomy. It still has anatomy. It still follows, not realism, but it still follows real life anatomy if you use it as reference. I do know there are some anime that don't do that, and does it make it bad? Not necessarily. Just some of them that I've seen that aren't necessarily based off more realistic proportions aren't really that good. Sorry, I'm just thinking of a specific one, and I don't want to say it out loud because then I'll be outing myself, because that means I've seen it. And yeah, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people who draw anime art don't necessarily use real life as reference, even though, like, in the Hayao Miyazaki quote that everyone's like, oh, anime was a mistake, it's misinterpreted so often. What Hayao Miyazaki was trying to say in that quote was that modern anime is not referenced from life enough, which is what a lot of Studio Ghibli movies, or Ghibli, however you want to pronounce it, movies were based off of, which is real life and the human experience. And to make stories that touch the hearts of people, you have to be able to base it off, you know, something they may have experienced in their life. Like in Spirited Away, it's about it starts off with a girl moving away from her home, her friends, to a new place, and then the fantastical stuff happens, and that intro is can be relatable to a lot of people because they've moved away, or they may have moved places and everything just feels unfamiliar and scary because you're going someplace. Moo. I'm a cow now. Whoa, it's crazy. Well, yeah. So that's my take on why I think anime art isn't necessarily a bad place to start, but it's just understanding that just because you're drawing a cartoon doesn't mean you don't get to ignore real life references if you want to make art that connects with people. And I think you can still make like a lot of fantasy things, like something like Frieren and stuff. The concepts are still fantastical, but the character and storytelling is still very human, if you understand what I mean. I haven't watched a lot of Frieren. I can't pronounce words today. But from what I've seen so far, it's very the character still feels very human despite the her being like an elf, and the way that she's learning about like her own emotions and stuff. And it's important to be able to why is it okay, no, sorry, I'm getting distracted again. I think it's important to be able to portray emotions in a way that can connect with people, and which is why a story like Frieren can be so successful, is because it is able to portray their character and emotions in a way that touches the hearts of people. And I understand, and I do know that Frieren was originally supposed to be like a comedy, hee hee ha ha kind of concept, but it became what it was through more development of its concept. And that's also something that can happen when you develop a story. Like, I have a character that I originally started with. His name was... I forgot what his name was originally. I want to say his name was originally like Xiaoxing, which just means small star in Chinese. I don't think I got the tones right on that one. Eventually, I changed his character a bit more as I got more into Fire Emblem, and it became less of a East Asian inspired story, and became more, I guess, medieval Europe inspired, and his name changed to Lucian. And then I changed his name again because I have a friend of that name, and it got really awkward trying to explain my character with my friend in the room, and I think it's just a silly little detail. And now his name is Ori, which, yes, like Ori in the Forest of Light. Ori means light. Sue me. And the concept just slowly evolved over the years. And I do mean the years, because I've never posted anything about this character. I've only posted about his partner, which is a funny little gay wizard. And some of the side characters, because I don't know why I decided to develop the side characters first. My main character that I have been... that I've allegedly developed over the years is so underdeveloped compared to, like, the other characters I have. One of the characters I have, the gay little wizard I was talking about, her name is Amaranth. She's a non-binary, femme-leaning, non-binary. Originally, she was just full gender neutral, but I felt like, the way I designed her was a lot more feminine in some aspects, but also they are still it's still very much part of their not personality, but their character, that they just do not have a biological sex, and it's like whatever. And they're just a funny little gay wizard that lives in a forest and does their illegal magic, and it's funny. It's a silly little concept. And then the other character I have, her name is Rhonda. She's a knight with a very strong moral compass, and the kingdom she serves, unfortunately, does not have a very strong moral compass, and she ends up clashing with some of the higher ups because it's like, hey, I don't agree with what we're doing, and she ends up getting exiled for insubordination. And she has a fiance who's a baker. His name is Darren, and he's a guy. He bakes bread. They're childhood friends, It's cute. We have soft baker guy, little chunky, bigger guy, but he's just a big softy, and his absolute unit of a wife, and they're just cute. And they're probably the most developed characters I have, despite Darren not even having a solid design yet. And that's how people make OCs. Or at least that's how I make mine. Yeah. But it's a very Euro fantasy setting that I have for those characters. Do I have a reference sheet for Amaranth? Yes. I have a reference sheet for Amaranth and Rhonda, and that's it. I tried to start one for Lucian, formerly Lucian, now Ori, I guess. But then I gave up halfway because I forgot how to draw reptilian arms. I've never drawn a reptilian arm before, so I don't know why I gave that part of his character, but it felt important. It was important. I just didn't think it through because I overestimated my artistic ability. And that's okay, because sometimes to improve, you have to challenge yourself. And I need to do that more, because I've been sitting in a comfort zone for far too long, and it is uncomfortable. Just like when I sit down in a position too long, and my hip pinches. It's great. 10 out of 10 would recommend getting an impingement. Not that you have control over the development of your hip bones, but 10 out of 10 would recommend. Why do I give myself such long lines to draw? Why can't I just draw tiny little things? Why can't I be good at my job? This isn't even a full-time job. This is side gig. I wish I had a job again. That'd be cool. But then I'd have then I'd have people to complain about. I'm kidding. Kind of. I don't know. Customer service is one hell of a drug. It's taught me that, if anything, I recommend everyone works one customer service job. Because I feel like it's important people understand how people can be. And I feel like it'd make the world a better place if everyone worked at least one. Just one. And if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to work it for the rest of your life. But it's taught me that to be more understanding of customer service works. It doesn't make me a doormat. If something fucks up, I will call them and be like, hey, can I get a refund? Yeah, you forgot my XYZ. That actually happened not too long ago with an order. I ordered something. I ordered fast food. They forgot my fries. I called them. Then I had to call DoorDash because apparently that was not their problem. And it's crazy because I've worked that, and normally you're able to direct people to where you're supposed to call. They did not do that, and I was very unimpressed with how that particular manager dealt with that. But that's okay. But that is just my experience as being... That's just me comparing my experience as a manager of the same fast food restaurant to that particular restaurant. And I've worked at that restaurant as a temporary help before. And I do know some of the managers there. They're nice. But that particular handling was not necessarily what I would call helpful, because they just said, oh, you gotta call DoorDash, and then basically hung up. And I think being able to be like, okay, yeah, on the app, if you ordered through like the app or whatever, you have to go to the help section. You can reach that number there and they'll be able to help you for the... And it's like, okay, thanks, bye. But that's just my personal opinion, understanding how the app works and the inner workings of that particular fast food chain. But that's just me nitpicking. I did not leave a bad review because I do not care, and I understand they got quotas to fill. And I don't remember exactly what time I called, so it also just could have been busy and they were trying to get through stuff quickly to get back to work, and that's understandable because I've done the same thing and I feel bad. And I feel bad for having to do that to some people, but also I've had people just call because they're trying to do a prank call, and it is the worst prank call I have ever heard because it's not even funny. Personally, I think if you're gonna waste my time, at least make it worth my time to be funny, because I think a lot of prank calls just end up being like, oh, I'm stuck in the bathroom, and there's just like shit everywhere. It's like, okay, well, I have to check that now, and there's nothing, so thanks for wasting my time, I guess. I think the worst prank call I got was someone faking basically an essay claim in our bathrooms. That one was bad because the severity of it meant I had to take it seriously, and they just made it a stupid Hawk Tuah joke. And I know it was a prank call because there was laughing in the background. They were laughing on the receiver phone, or the receiver. And I was pissed. Because that's not something to joke about. So, yeah. I ended up telling my manager about it anyways, just in case it was like supposed to be a serious, and when I mean manager, I mean my general manager, about it, just in case it was a serious thing that was actually going on in the bathrooms, but it wasn't. So that was fun. Yeah. What other interesting things happened to me at that store? Not a lot from what I remember, honestly. It was kind of boring. It was a really small town franchise restaurant, so not a lot of interesting thing happened. I do think someone cussed. Oh yeah, I guess that did happen. Someone cussed out one of our workers who was a minor, and I knew exactly who it was because he was a regular and he's kind of a dick. So what I did was he came in and tried to use 2 coupons, and I decided to be like, I'm sorry, sir, you can't use 2 coupons. Even though, like, personally, I do not care. Like, if it were literally anyone else, I would have been like, oh yeah, sure, let me do some things in the system. My boss isn't looking. Just for you, we're gonna do this. But because it was this particular guy who yelled at one of my staff, who was a minor, I decided to be a little more difficult because he deserved it. And then he got mad and called me a lower human being, so yeah, I think he was racist. Implying that I was uneducated, and yeah. And I know it sounds a little bad, but also it was really funny. I found it funny, at least, in hindsight. In the moment, it was really scary, because you have this guy who's probably a foot taller than me yelling at me about not being able to use 2 coupons, but I felt like I did the right thing, because, again, what kind of grown man yells at a 15-year-old about a minor mistake that could have been resolved easily if he came in to talk to someone? And I think, like, a lot of the times people will blame the workers. And it's like, yeah. Like, sometimes it is our fault. But you have to remember that a lot of the times that, especially with, like, lower skill jobs, a lot of these people will be minors. Especially if you live in a place where they hire younger. Like, the youngest McDonald's, that's the fast food restaurant I work for, will hire, and my state is 14. So sometimes when you're ordering from there, it's a 14-year-old working the register or taking your order, handing it out, etc., etc. And they're bound to make mistakes just because, you know, we're human, and you have to be able to not regulate, but, like, as the adult in the situation, you have to be able to understand that, hey, they did mess up my order, but there is a good potential, or there's a good possibility that the person handing out my order, taking my order, is a minor and a child, and I have to be able to not yell at this person in the way I think they deserve to be yelled at. And most of the time they don't deserve it. Sometimes, yes, this is a little frustrating to work with people who don't always... How did I... Oh my god. But sometimes a little frustrating to work with some of them people. And that's just how life is. Like, sometimes you just gotta work with it. And that's what I learned as a manager. And I consider myself a pretty easygoing person. I was pretty lax in terms of my managerial, I guess you could say, style, but I still like to get things done, if that makes sense. So, like, sometimes I just do stuff myself, because it's like, I can just do it. I have hands. And if it's something I can do, like, real quick, I'll just do it myself, because I'm not a lazy SOB. And I think it's be able... And my general manager would always be like, hey, you need to be able to delegate these things. And it's like, yes, I understand that. But they're also busy with some things. And if, like, people aren't doing anything, of course I'll, like, delegate the things. But sometimes I have to be able to... what do you call? Use my intuition to basically be like, okay, now is not the time to ask Sally, who's taking someone's order right now, to take out the trash. People are busy in the kitchen. Blah, 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 blah. I can just take out the trash. And then I don't have to deal with people like, well, I'm in the middle of something right now. Blah, 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 blah. And it's better for everyone. But apparently not for her, because thanks, boss. But yeah, it was certainly an experience working. Did I? I did it again. Okay, I'm gonna... Oh. I love working on layers and drawing on the wrong one. Point is, I did not enjoy working with that particular manager. And I don't think anyone did, because from my experience, anytime I was working, people would be like, is so-and-so working? And I'd be like, no, don't worry. It's just me today. It's like, oh, okay, thank God. And I just think that's a little funny. And I also know this because I have a group chat with some of my friends. Some of my friends still work there. I met them while I worked there, and they would have the same grievances I had in regards to that particular employer. Like, I got out while I could. I told them I was quitting because transportation was difficult due to my disability. That was definitely part of it. the other part of it was just I could not stand how overbearing my manager was. She was so micromanagey. She would text us when she wasn't even at the store. It was her day off, and she was still texting us. Like, why is our timers so high? Why is their timers so high? It's like, girl, chill. You're not here. I understand we have like monthly things or whatever, but for the most part, it doesn't incentivize our crew members to work harder when they don't get the raise. It's just the manager's bonus. And the managers sometimes don't even care. I didn't care anyways. And sometimes, yeah, obviously, like, to incentivize the managers, you set these goals to give them bonuses. But that doesn't incentivize the people below the managers to work any harder, because it's like, the manager gets the bonus, but what do I get? I don't get anything because I'm just a crew member or whatever. And that's why I never really pushed too hard to reach goals, because it's like, just because I get a bonus doesn't mean that my crew is incentivized to work hard, because they're not getting the bonus. It's a little dumb, ain't it? And yeah. And, like, at that point, it's like, well, like, the crew could just become a manager. Well, like, no, they can't. They're 16. The requirement for a lot of managers, and particularly at this franchise, was you have to be 18 to be a manager. And it's like, you could work up to be there, but a lot of people, especially if they're in high school, are at McDonald's to earn just some money to, before they go off to post-secondary school, or they're going to continue working there while they're in college and then go off to do bigger and better things. And that's the reality of it. And I think the craziest part is studies show that when you have a happy workers, your business thrives, because they're more willing to, you know, help out with things here and there. They're more willing to work because, you know, better conditions means you have more loyalty to the company or whatever. And I never went to business school. This is just from my observations working 9 to 5 at McDonald's, that when you have happy workers, they're more willing to work for you. And that's what I experienced working at McDonald's. I know a lot of people loved me at that job, whether it be regular customers or just the people I worked with, because every time I walked in, people would be like, oh, hi, like, they'd greet me when I came in. I've had people ask when I work, because they want to know if I worked that day or if I was in charge that day. And I think that's like a good sign when you're in a managerial position, when people want to work with you. If people actively ask, like, is so-and-so working, and if the answer is yes, and they go, oh, that's not a good thing. But yeah, I do miss a lot of people I worked with at that restaurant. There was a lot of good people I enjoyed working with. And I know they miss me because, again, I have friends that still work there. And they'll sometimes text me like, oh, so-and-so misses you. They're just wondering how you're doing. It's like, yeah, I'm still doing good. Still jobless, but, you know, what can you do about that? In this economy anyways. And, like, yeah. Thankfully, my parents don't give me too much crap for not being able to be hired in my current position, because they're aware of my disability, obviously, because I still talk to my parents. And they do like to stay updated on stuff like that. And, like, obviously, if I get a job at one of the places I applied to, I'll tell them, because they're my parents and I have a good relationship with them. But yeah, I don't think sometimes, but I think it's important to be able to assess people's emotions when you're in a managerial position. Or that's just like customer service in general, but especially if you're a manager. From my experience as a manager, being able to assess when people are upset really helps with the job. I don't think that one's rocket science, but apparently from my boss it was, because there were a lot of times when people were upset and she acknowledged it, but she would never like truly acknowledge it. She'd be like, oh, and that explained absolutely nothing, but I feel like it explains everything. I feel like I had an important thing to say. But yeah, sometimes when it was late at night, when we'd sometimes get like weird rushes right before we closed. Those sucked. And I could always tell when the person I mostly closed with in kitchen, it was usually just one guy, and that's usually how it is with like small franchises like that, where they'll just have one guy in kitchen at closing, and that's really normal. I personally think that's okay because it usually isn't too busy at that time. But sometimes at times like that, I would have to be like, okay, like, what's going on there, bud? Not because I particularly think that... What did I do? Anyways, that I forgot what I was going there. But like sometimes I'd have to like watch his mood, not because I'm like afraid of him, but because I'm concerned about his well-being, because it's like, yeah, I understand it's frustrating when you just cleaned the grill and suddenly we have like order of a quarter pounder right before we close. That's, yeah. But hang on, I'm gonna take some colors from here too. Oh, there's a little white spot I didn't fill in. That's fun. Let's just, yeah, okay, there we go. I'll take that again. But sometimes like when he got upset like that, I just get him his cup of water. He usually got a glass of water with no ice before we close, or like, yeah, before we close, because, you know, hydration is important. And I still stand by that. And it just, I felt like it kind of, not necessarily mellowed him out, but like it just kept good morale within the, not the company, fuck the company. It was never about the company for me, it was all about my coworkers. Blah blah blah, something about the company. But it was just like little things like that that I would do to help out, and I felt like it made a difference. I don't know, enough of the difference for people to still ask where I am and how I am even after I left the company, so take that as you will. And I didn't necessarily get along with everyone, I don't think. Like, there were definitely people that I'd be like, ugh, when I work with them. But overall, I tried to keep a very, I don't know how to word it, a very professional relationship with people. I tried to anyways. Because I feel like it's important to be able to separate your personal feelings from your professional ones, but I still kept my, I still kept personal feelings in the job because I still feel those are important, but I also think it's important to be able to maintain your personal feelings and a professional, I wouldn't call it a vibe, professional demeanor when you're dealing with people. Whether or not that people agree with that, obviously very opinionated. Very something or other. Sorry, I got distracted again. But yeah. I don't know. I think people are all right sometimes. And I think I need to tell myself that more, because sometimes I get so frustrated with people that I start to become very nihilistic, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing for or not not a good thing. Yeah, no, it's just not a good thing to like thrive on negativity all the time, because it's not good on your own mental health. And think about it, you need to think about it that way sometimes. You just need to think about yourself sometimes, and realistically speaking, sometimes, yeah, you're gonna have negative thoughts, but you also gotta look on the positives for your own benefit, because sometimes not everyone's gonna be in your corner, and it's kind of unfortunate sometimes, and you just have to be in your own corner sometimes. Because, gosh darn, if no one's gonna fight for you, fight for yourself. That's the wrong color. And yeah. At least that's what I feel, or that's what I've learned about myself over the years, that like sometimes I'll dwell too much on the negative, and it just really messes with my mental health. So I've just tried to focus more on, I guess, myself, and if that makes me selfish, then so be it. But I am the person who has to deal with myself the most, so if I can improve my own life, then I don't see the issue. Hang on. I'm gonna just change. Where's the color? I just think it's important to take care of yourself sometimes. I'm just gonna lower the saturation. I like how I'm covering up the one thing I want to see. Saturation, hue, shit. Is this doing anything? Hang on. Oh, it's not doing anything because I'm on the wrong layer. Well, yeah. Obviously, I'm not here to give professional advice on mental health, because I never finished therapy. I went, and I never finished. Make it sound like school. I mean, like, I guess kind of. No, it's too red. Saturation, luminosity. Nope. I can't explain it, but the white feels whiter. I blame color theory on that one. I'll remove the sketch again because I'm noticing particles that are annoying the hell out of me. No, I'll leave it as is. That's kind of a decision. I never colored the ribbon. Oh my god. I just realized that. I'm so good at my temporary job. Okay, yeah. I still have the color there. These particular commissions don't have shading, for the record. They may I have like light highlights, color obviously, but not shading. Shading is not on the I'm gonna call it price point. Is not on the you know, it's not on the price point, yeah. Well, that's exactly the wording I would use. Except the words that don't matter. What else could I complain about my old job? I'm kidding. One job I do miss is being able to do cart pushing. Not because I thought manual labor was cool. It wasn't. It's because I miss being outside during good weather. Because that was fun. I did a lot of steps when I was a cart pusher. I think the most steps I did in a day was 50,000-ish? I'm not sure how accurate that was, but it was still a fun job. My favorite part was when I had all my work done, and I could pretend to work by walking into the parking lot, because it's like, oh, the cart pusher's in the parking lot. That's crazy. No, it was really normal. And I would just find bumblebees and stuff, and play with the bumblebees and the bugs that I find. I found a couple mice in the parking lot too. I'm not particularly fearful of mice and bugs and stuff. I don't like stink bugs. I don't like ants, but I'm not exactly afraid of them. I think bugs are cool when they're outside, so I won't mess with their space when they're in their own nature. But when they come into my space, that's when I get a little violent, a little squishy squashy. I'm trying to think if there was one time a wasp was inside. So I made it like it was on the window, so I made a triangle with my hand, and it was crawling on the window, so I just like surrounded the wasp with my triangle hand, and it was crawling around, like, where do I go, forgetting that the bro could literally fly, and I thought that was a little silly. Would I recommend doing that? No. Did I know what I was doing? Also no. I've only gotten stung by a wasp once, and it was on accident. I'm not allergic to it, by the way. Found that one out too that day. It's because like I felt a bug on my thigh, and I wasn't particularly fond of that feeling, so I just I squished my leg up, and it was a bee or a wasp. I'm pretty sure it was a wasp because the stinger was not left in my leg, so I'm assuming it was of the non-stinger leaving behind variety, so it was probably a wasp. And I think a lot of people think I'm like probably clinically insane for, you know, playing with wasps and being able to look a wasp dead in its eye and pick it up and throw it outside. But I don't know. I'm the wasp whisperer. I've not gotten stung by a wasp while trying to get it back outside. And I don't know, I just feel like they smell fear. And as soon as they smell fear, they get a complex and try to kill you, I guess. I don't know. I remember working at McDonald's, sometimes like a wasp would fly through the drive-thru window. And my coworkers would be, oh my gosh, there's a wasp! And it's like, hang on, let me through, I want to see it. Let me see the wasp. And it's always like, oh, it's a yellow jacket. 9 times out of 10 it was a yellow jacket. Yellow jackets are one of the more common species in my area. Occasionally it was a paper wasp. Paper wasps are a lot bigger and a bit scarier looking, so I can understand being a little more afraid of those. But yellow jackets are about the size of a bee, and they're not too scary from my experience. I don't know. I feel like I'm really good at gauging when a wasp is feeling particularly aggressive and when I need to get a cup to deal with it. But for the most part, I could just pick them up and toss them outside. It wasn't that big of a deal. But I do understand people's like aversion to bugs of those particular natures, because it's like, yeah. Hang on. I want to take an average. I just color picked the same color twice. I'm so smart. Like, I'm a genius. Oh my gosh. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, I want to take that. I'm going to make that. Put that here, put that there. And take, like, the middle color and change the line art to that. Ah! Wrong color. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I think one of the coolest bugs I saw in the parking lot was an orb weaver spider. A yellow orb weaver. Those are cool. When I was a kid, I accidentally crushed one of those with a garage door, and its carcass was just left there for months. And I felt bad. It was so gross to look at. And I just remember it being like, I have the image like stained in my memory forever. It's crazy. I'm trying to remember what other cool bugs I saw. I remember, a bumblebee once got stuck inside the store, and it kept crashing into the window like a quirky little guy, and I felt bad. But I couldn't bring it outside at first because it was too high up when it knocked itself out initially. So then I had to wait for it to, that's the reference sheet. I had to wait for it to come back down later to, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I had to wait for it to come back down to whatchamacall, to bring it outside. Later it came back in. I didn't think this through when I initially made it. But I had to wait for it to come back down, waited for it, came back down. It came back down and it did the same thing on the lower window. And then I scooped it up and brought it outside. Little bee, little guy. I love bees. Bees are just little guys. This one, I think it was either a bumblebee or a carpenter bee. I don't remember. It was a while ago. It was a really cute little guy. And he let me pet him, and it had the softest little fuzz. Like, petting bees is a 10 out of 10 experience. Would recommend if you are gentle and understand, I guess, bee body language. I can't explain how or why. I can read the body language of wasps and bees, or I feel like I can, but it's just a vibe thing, you know? Sometimes you just know that a bee is ready to freaking fight you, and you need to respect its space. And yeah. But sorry, I'm trying to look at the ref to see if I'm missing anything. Yes, I am. I'm gonna add some sparkles. But bees are cool. One of my favorite videos on beekeeping is this one video by a Japan-based beekeeping YouTube channel, and they're talking about how to deal with the big murder wasps or whatever, and in one part of the video he's like, now that I have captured the wasp, I will now disarm it. And he just steps on it a few times, and I can't explain it, but it's so funny. Like, yeah, I guess that is how you safely disarm a wasp. Trying to think if there were any other cool bugs I saw. I feel like I took pictures. I just don't have the pictures of the cool bugs I saw anymore. Oh, one time I found a frog in the parking lot. That was cool. I brought that. I didn't know where to bring that, so I moved it to one of the grassy areas near the store, but I knew that it wasn't particularly an ideal spot to put it. Ideally, I would have been able to walk off the property and bring it to a nearby pond that I know of. It's still a long walk, but it would have been the ideal for that situation. But unfortunately, I was on the clock and was unable to do that. Wow, that was only 2 hours of work. Cool. It was like, I'd say closer to 3 hours, considering when I started this and how long I was working on it concurrently. But you know, details. Okay, I guess I just have to do the final things. I'm gonna save once more so I don't lose progress. I probably should have saved more often than I did, but yeah, details. This is that, and there's, oh right, actually I am going to double check the skin color on that one. It is so Hoyoverse. I'm gonna just, just a little more. There we go. While I do color pick directly from the reference, sometimes it will, sometimes the reference is very, I can't explain it, but sometimes they'll just change it just a little bit, but not enough to completely change the skin tone of said character. I'm gonna make that a little more red. I was originally gonna keep it the same color to keep, how you call, not cohesion. No, I guess it would be cohesion. I keep the color palette minimal, but I'm not making a 16-bit drawing. I have more than 16 colors I can use. Though I do know that like keeping the cheek colors the same would have would kind of tie them together. But I feel like I did not a lot of color picking between the two pieces I'm doing to keep them similar enough. But like I did some details here and there too. Hang on, let me put them side by side, because this is a specific, they're supposed to hold hands. They're gonna hold hands by the end of this stream. I can promise you that. Hang on, I need to move the ruler out of the folder, because it's the template. But, if I can move these guys, I'm gonna move that there. Fifi. But like, if I can do some examples of what I mean by when I color picked. The things I color picked were like the gold accents, I'd say. So the gold accents here and here are the same. Obviously the white is white. Nope, that's a lie. The white is not white on Firefly. It is like it's an off-white. Oh, that's what that layer is. Why didn't I just merge that? Okay, so now it's 2 layers. Yeah. I do work with minimal layers on these ones simply because I'm a little mentally unstable. Okay, so I'm gonna redraw these details here and make it an off-white, the same off-white that Firefly has there. Because I'm cool like that. None of the buttons can stay pure white, actually. Actually, let me just see how that looks. Yeah, I think no, I don't like the buttons pure white, actually. I've changed my mind. Let me just double check there are no other white details I'm missing. Oh, the hair, I guess. Yeah, I'll redo the hair. The things I do, man. No, that one doesn't need to be black. Or I guess it's an off black? Listen, I did 3 semesters of art school. I have not been back to art school since like 2020. No, 2020. That's when I started working. That's when I started working. And that's also when I got COVID for the first time. Yay! 0 out of 10 would not recommend. But I got it before they were like officially diagnosing it as COVID, which is also unfortunate because I was very sick. I was coughing baby. Oh, right. I see. How do I do this? Ah. Okay, no. Sorry. So I need to move this back to the center. Oh, I'm gonna zoom in a little so it's ruler guide. I just need something at the 1000 point because this is a 2000 by 2000 canvas. That's not what I meant, but you know what? We ball. Okay. If I disconnect that, will it let me move? I'm built different. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Not actually, but you know. Let me have this one. No, we put that back. Put that thing back where it came from. Or so help me. I love gradients. That's not an objective thing. That's a personal thing. I just love gradients. I just realized he was supposed to have a braid too. Whoopsie. Still unsure if it was supposed to be on both sides, but I'm going to hope it wasn't. And pray. Put that there. And pull up the other ref. Right. I feel like I was talking about something earlier and then I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm not good at keeping my train of thought too long. Unless I'm like really into a topic, because I just get distracted by what I'm doing so often. Which is very often. I am become error. Oh gosh. I also enjoy the process of drawing braided hair. I just don't enjoy the rendering of it. Which is like really hard to articulate. But I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Just a little facility. I feel like facility is a pasta shape. I don't know. My favorite pasta shape are the shell noodles. I just like how they feel in my mouth, and I like to unfold them when I eat them. Yeah. But I can never decide whether I want to use a spoon or a fork when I eat the shell noodles. Is it an important detail? No. But I think the last time I ate shell noodles, I ate it with a fork, and I really struggled for some reason. Why did I struggle to eat pasta with a fork? Because I'm inept. No, because I had like a shit ton of butter on it, and it just kept slipping off the fork. And it was a little silly. You know, I feel like the little Y's on the other ones add too much detail. We're here to do subtle details, damn it. This is a very simplified piece. I don't know what I did there. Okay. And then I move this back into the center as well, just so I can send it as a separate file. When I do these commissions, I send a few different files to my clients. I will send them the finished piece when they're a hand-holding duo specifically, because this is specifically a hand-holding commission. Again, they will hold hands by the end of the stream, I promise. I will send them the individual characters. I will send them the hand-holding, the hands together with a little heart if they're ship. If not, I'll maybe put a little smiley face in the middle if it's like siblings or something. And then I'll send a third render, which is just the hand holding, but for social media, because I do have a specific way I prepare these things for posting on social media, including adding a especially if it's going on Twitter, because of a lot of the AI implementations on Twitter, I'll add like a subtle grain, and then like obviously like commission, do not use, etc., etc. Obviously the person who commissioned me can use it because it's their commission, not mine. But like, I don't know, I think it's an important detail to add, because especially if it gets reposted somewhere. I don't mind reposts with credit, but sometimes those reposts end up out of my control. Also, I don't need the symmetry ruler for this, so I'll put it back there. And then we'll delete that ruler because I don't need it. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Okay, yeah, the off-white definitely feels better than using pure white in this situation. Obviously, there are situations to use pure white, and I do like to use pure white for highlights and such, but this does not feel like one of those situations. Not the highlights I'm talking about. These are like frosted tips, I think. I don't know. I'm not a hairstylist. I am an artist. Not to say hairstylists aren't artists. They have their own art. I have a different medium of art. I mean, I guess hairstyling is a visual art because you see it. I draw. That's my art. I draw. Sometimes I think about the time I almost fought a kid over the dumbest reason in high school. So I flipped off this kid because he was being a butt, and then he got up and tried to fight me. It's kind of funny. It was funny because I am 5'1", and the guy who stood up to fight me was like a whole foot taller than me and was in sports. So imagine this like wimpy ass Asian kid flipping off this jock, and then the jock getting mad and standing up in the middle of the class and go like, "You wanna go? You wanna go? You wanna go?" The funniest part of this interaction was the teacher was right between us. I'm pretty sure she saw me flip him off, but she did not care. And the situation was so ridiculous that in the moment I was laughing very hard. Should I have laughed? Probably not. I was about to get beat up. He said he wanted to fight during lunch, but he didn't specify where, so I never went. And if that makes me a coward, then so be it, but I also wasn't about to become a victim because this guy had a fragile ego. Also, like, my brother got in enough trouble for the both of us when I was a kid, so I wasn't about to add to my parents' stress. Do I resent my brother for causing a lot of trouble? No. It did cause me stress too, but he's still my brother. Like, he chill, we still talk. He just doesn't live in this country anymore. Not for related reasons to causing trouble. He just has a life over there now, and that's cool. He's married. Does he have kids? No idea. But he's just married, has his wife, has his life. And that's honestly just goals. Sometimes. You just don't find the life you need in the country you're adopted into. So he moved back to East Asia. No, he's not even in East Asia. He's in Southeast Asia, might be. But my brother and I are both East Asian. But he moved to Southeast Asia and got married. I have not met his wife. I didn't get a chance to go to his wedding. Neither did my parents. They didn't even really have like a wedding necessarily celebration. Ceremony, that's what they're called. They just kind of got married. They agreed to get married and then they got married. And honestly, if that's what my brother wants to do, that's just kind of his prerogative. He and his wife did not want a ceremony, from what I was told. I have not spoken to his wife before, but she still seems pretty good. And if my brother married her, she ought to be really good, because, I don't know, they just look so happy together. And that's all I know from what I see. And that's how I see the world, with an astigmatism. Yes. I do have an astigmatism. Is it bad? I don't know, probably. I have like -5 in both of my eyes. If you don't know what that means, it just means I'm incredibly nearsighted. So I can only see things really, really, really close. My glasses are actually like super thick. I pay extra to have them thinned down actually, and they're still really thick. They're still bigger than my frames. And it's kind of funny. I showed my friend who's a glasses technician, and she's like, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with your eyes? And I'm like, a lot. My glasses do not correct my astigmatism, because I feel like that's something I have to actually tell them I might have. So that's something definitely I'll bring up at my next eye exam when I can afford it, which will not be anytime soon. Because the only job I have applied for is a part-time. I still owe my parents rent for the past 2 months, but again, I think they're being lenient on me. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if my fish is still awake. I think she's finally asleep. At least I don't see her lurking around trying to eat me. That may sound like an exaggeration, that my fish is trying to eat me when she's the size of my thumb, but you gotta trust me on this one. She's trying to eat me. If she could grow legs, she would, like, beat me up. And that's just the fact of life sometimes. Sometimes you have a pet and they're kind of a dick. But I still take care of her because she can't take care of herself. And that's the important part. Because I still love her. And I think it's important, when, especially when you have like a pet like a fish, to understand that a lot of what they do isn't something that needs to be disciplined. Because, like, it's a fish. You can't discipline a fish. Originally, she was going to go in a big community tank with some tetras, but immediately after being placed in, she may or may not have eaten a couple. So now she's in a tank by herself in my room. Of course, like, I was upset about losing 2 little tetras because they were so freaking cute. But I'm not blaming my fish on that behavior because that's just her natural instinct. And, like, again, how the hell would you discipline a fish in a way that would, you know, be meaningful? And not to say that fish have, like, the memory of 2 seconds. They don't. That's been proven wrong, like, multiple times. It's the fact that this creature doesn't understand discipline in the same way like a dog or a child would. I will call my fish my children, but that does not mean they have the intelligence or the self-awareness of one. This creature understands 2 things: when I'm awake and when it's time to eat. Those things are usually correlate, and she will be very, very nom nom. Okay. Sorry. I think I'm done. Yes. Yes. No. Hang on. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. I'm done. Okay. Now I just need to do the hand-holding stuff. I'm gonna export these separately real quick. Slin. That's a ping file or a PNG. Oh, right, I have to press enter one more time. And then we have Firefly, or as my friend calls her, Fifi. Oh, wrong. Export PNG. Firefly. And then they get to hold hands. I'm gonna have to pull the guide out again. Oh, this is from Forgotten Lands. I love that game. It's such a... I think it's a good, like, direction for the franchise as a whole. I also just realized a small mistake. I'm so cool. I got eyes. Wait, hang on. Is that a... Yeah, that is a symmetry ruler thing. Okay, sorry, I got distracted again. Nope. Guide. I'm gonna have to zoom in again. Get the mouse up, because I can get a little more precise. You know what? Whatever. I don't care about the horizontal line. Happy 10 a.m. Oh, it is not 10 a.m. It is midnight. Whoopsie. Wait, where did it go? I'm so confused. Oh my gosh. Why can't I be normal? I don't even know why I bothered keeping the symmetry ruler. I don't need that for... Yeah, I just don't need that right now. Because I already have my template saved on a separate file because I'm smart. and they hold hands. And then we can select them both. Look at them, they hold hand. They hold hands. Oh, hi. Hi, Kawaji. If my eyes are not failing me. Yeah, there we go. And I didn't think this through. Can I put a folder in a folder actually? Oh yeah, I can. Huh. I didn't think that one through. Whoopsie. And I will add that. Hold up, what is that? Oh, okay, it's the sketch. Why is the sketch visible? There we go. Was the sketch visible on the... hang on, I need to check the render that I just saved so I don't accidentally send it to the commissioner like that. I just need to open the file real quick. You won't see it because of the way I have my files. Yeah. I had a feeling. Ah! Hang on. No. We have an order of operation, and I'm gonna keep the order of operation because I am good at my job. I can pretend I am, at least. Let's go with a little thing. Oh, that's not the... That's not... Little heart. And for the background color, let's go with that, but a little light. And a little, yeah, you know, maybe a little more, that's a little too desaturated. Oh, kind of gross. A little more teal. A little more teal. There we go. Maybe... Or maybe I just ignore my initial instinct and go for like a really teal. No. You know, maybe my original instinct was correct. Maybe I do know what No, we go with my second instinct, because my second instincts... No, I don't like my second instincts. I stand corrected. Okay. That's a little too blendy in with the coat. Make it a little more blue, a little lighter. Yeah, I kind of vibe with that. And then just double checking for any little mishaps here and there, and we're good. And then I'll export that as a PNG. And then we'll go back to the initial centered... Wait, no, hang on. I want to go back. Okay, so we'll save that as... And then have my computer lag a little. Blah, 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 blah. Huh. That's weird. The fact that... You know what, whatever. I had a realization, and I'm not happy about it. So Yes. I'm gonna close the file and then reopen it because I just realized the small mistake, which is the one I just fixed. And I'm gonna... Don't save as is. And then I'm gonna have to open it up again to fix that. It's file 1, layer like 5 or whatever. Yeah, no, I'm just seeing a lot of things now that I'm brushing over it again. But, like, what can you do? I can do a better job. That's what I can do. Let me zoom in and double check some of the corners to make sure that my eyes... I don't know why I zoomed my face in to look at it. That's not good for my eyes. Oh. There we go. And I realized I could just... That's not what I meant to do. Export. Ping. Ping ping. Yep. Okay. I think that's the drawings. If I can speedrun through the ping exporting, I can close those tabs, and then I can message my friend at like 6:37 his time because I think it's a little silly to do that. I'm just a little quirky. Yes. I hope he likes how I did Firefly's eyes, cause for those who don't know Honkai Star Rails, let me just pull up the reference image I was using of Firefly. So I'm just gonna open the file because I have it saved on my computer because I feel like they might commission me another time for a different thing. But like her eye has like this, this is the artist who compiled all this information. She kind of has like this blue with pink, and so I decided to try and do it that way. There's another way I wanted to test out how to do it, but I tried it, didn't look good, so I tossed it and just kept this one. So yeah, I'm gonna mark this as complete on coffee, and I'm gonna send it to my friend, and I think that's where I'm gonna end stream for tonight because that's all I have for commissions. And yeah, thank you for sticking around. Hopefully it was okay, and I hope you all have a good day, a good night, or whatever time it is for you.